that it's what you think is a chemical reaction in your brain, right?
Yeah, sure.
So you can't use your consciousness to say that's what your consciousness is, right?
I guess.
Yeah, so don't put your faith in your consciousness. Put your faith in the revelation of God in the Bible that tells us that God created human beings, that they do exist, and that like he created us with like an immaterial soul and a material body, and that we're here to glorify him, you know? That we live on planet Earth because he put us here, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
I talked to some very nice people over there who had me sign a petition. I'm on board with you. I don't believe in this abortion. That's bad.
Yeah.
But when they try to tell me that it's because of the Bible and Jesus, that's why abortion's bad, I'm not on board.
Why not?
I don't care much about the Bible. I don't care about religion. Other people do. I just don't.
Well, everybody has a religion. Everybody has a belief system that they use to make sense of the world.
Yes.
So, like, why is this wrong? Like, in your worldview, why is it wrong to, like, murder
It's not
people?
wrong.
It's not?
Equally as valid as mine is. But as long as I keep mine to me and you keep yours to you,
Mm-hmm.
we don't have to argue. I don't have to tell you that there is no God and that you're wrong or dumb for believing in anything Bible related. You can just enjoy your thing and I can just enjoy my thing.
Even if they contradict each other, doesn't that, like, violate logic? They can't both be true at the same time, right?
They don't have to both be true, but I can.
Well, I'm not saying that. Right? I'm saying they're not both true. I'm saying if one thing is contradicting another, fundamentally, how can they both be true?
They don't have to both be true.
So you're just saying we're just believe random stuff that isn't true.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's foolishness. We should try to seek truth, right? That's important. Is truth important?
Yes, truth is important.
Okay.
Very important.
Okay, then we should figure out what the truth is, right? And we should look at different beliefs and see which belief actually comports with reality. You know, which belief actually provides a foundation for knowledge and knowing things in the first place. In the biblical worldview, we can know things because we put our faith not in our finite consciousness, but in what God, who knows everything, has revealed to us about the nature of reality.
So you're a Christian, right?
Yeah.
And I'm an atheist, right?
Sure. Yeah.
What about Islam? They believe in a God. It's just a completely different God.
Yeah,
I think they're wrong too.
Right.
Anybody
Right.
but a Christian God is wrong.
They are wrong, and like the Bible tells us that there's only one God. The Muslims, the revelation, their so-called revelation from their God, contradicts itself.
It looks yummy.
Their holy book, that their supposed revelation from God, is contradicting itself. It says that certain parts of the book are certain parts of the Bible are the Word of God, but those parts of the Bible contradict what the rest of the Quran says. And Muslims say that the Bible was corrupted, so it's not like it was the Word of God, but it's been corrupted. But there's no evidence. There's no historical there's no evidence at all that the Bible has been majorly corrupted to change the basic message of the Bible.
Who wrote the Bible?
People who were inspired by God.
And they weren't corrupted? They didn't have their own self-interest in mind?
No, they wrote things that people probably wouldn't even write about themselves, you know, if they were trying to people try to make themselves look good, right? When they write things, they wrote stuff about themselves that didn't show them in a very good light.
The Bible is supposed to be taken very literally. I get that the Bible is telling you a lot of important life lessons. I just don't believe that all the stories were true. The Bible can say that you need to believe in one. I didn't read the Bible. I know.
Okay.
So it can tell you that you need to have faith and believe and know that people aren't truly bad or whatever it wants to say. And I say, yeah, the meaning is there. I just don't believe in Jesus and all this other stuff.
Well, the thing is, if we don't have revelation from an unchanging, all-knowing creator God who doesn't lie, we can't know the nature of reality. If we put our faith in our finite consciousness that doesn't know everything, we could always be wrong. We have to put our faith in a worldview that has the preconditions for intelligibility, a worldview in which God reveals the nature of reality to us, because we don't know the nature of reality if we just trust in the experiences of our consciousness. You see what I'm saying? So that the Bible has to be true, because if it wasn't true, you wouldn't be able to know anything. If you don't have revelation from God, you can't have knowledge.
So do you believe in evolution?
No, I don't believe in evolution.
You don't believe in evolution?
No.
You don't believe that we started off as fish and crawled on land?
No, man, that's absurd. That's crazy. There's no evidence at all that any species has turned into a different species.
Do you believe in dinosaurs?
Yeah, man.
Okay, that's good. Because we found their bones. I ain't never seen a Jesus bone. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I mean, if Jesus didn't reveal to us the nature of reality, we wouldn't be able to know. And when I was asking you before, like, why is this wrong? I wasn't asking you, why is Christianity wrong? I was asking you, why is abortion wrong? Like, in your worldview as an atheist, why is it wrong to murder people?
It's not okay to murder people.
I'm saying why? Like, why do you believe that it's wrong to murder people?
Because I don't believe that a human should take another human's life.
Why?
Because humans are equal.
Why? How do you know that?
Because I'm a human and you're a human.
Are we really equal? In
Yes.
what way? What do you mean by equal? Like equal in value?
Yes.
Says who? So some people think that
Says society.
Like society says that these humans aren't. Society says that these humans aren't equal, and they can be murdered.
Society can be wrong.
Yeah. So how do we know who's right and who's wrong? Everybody has all these different opinions.
Because we live in a society where we have to sort out who's right and who's wrong, who's more right, who's more wrong.
Well, who determines that? Where's the objective standard?
The people, the group conscience.
So the group decides what's right.
Yes.
But the group has decided that this is right. Is that right?
Not in my opinion. But
Okay.
I disagree with the group.
So you disagree with the group. So that means the group is right and you're wrong?
I am wrong, according to the group.
Okay, according to the
me
group.
Personally, because I'm allowed to be separate from the group. Everybody collectively is the group, but everybody individually isn't the group itself.
So it's not really wrong or right. Like right or wrong don't really exist. It's just people's preferences.
Yeah. Really.
Okay. Yeah, man. Well, that's not a good standard for morality, because like if everybody decides that like enslaving black people is good,
we
then
did do that once.
Yeah, and
we stopped.
Yeah, like that's objectively wrong to enslave people. Like
yeah,
like they're animals, you know, like chattel slavery.
Those guys were crazy, right? We can look back in the history book and say those guys were terrible for owning slaves.
Well, it's not really terrible. It's just a terrible according to you.
No, it's objectively. People nowadays, well,
not everybody.
Everybody, but the group nowadays would say that slavery in America was bad when it was there.
Right.
You could take a time machine or whatever and bring like a slave over from them to now, and they'd be mind blown. Be like, it's so dumb that you guys wouldn't want the cheap free labor and like all this easy access to like land work and stuff.
Yeah.
They can look. It's all. Because like times change, people change. The group, what they agree to be good and bad, change over time.
So it's not objectively wrong to like treat people like animals and work them on plantations. It's just what you think is wrong.
It's what people nowadays think.
Okay, so it's not actually wrong. It's just their preference that people not do that to other people.
Pretty much.
And it's just it isn't objectively wrong to slaughter children in the womb. It's just your preference that they don't do that. Is that what you're saying?
I say it's bad. I think more people should think it's bad. But too many people think otherwise.
So why is it bad, in your opinion?
Why is it
Why
bad
do you not like this?
Why do I not like babies dying?
Yes, why?
The same reason I don't want to get shot when I walk down the street. People shouldn't kill people.
Why? Why shouldn't people kill people? Why isn't it good to kill people?
Because if at any point you as one person kills a person, you lose all value as a person. You've gone down one.
What's wrong with losing value as a person?
If you're valueless as a person, then your opinion shouldn't matter to anybody, including yourself.
And so what's the problem with that? Why do you have a problem with that? Why do you have a problem with...
Because everybody should matter.
Why?
Because we're people. We're social animals. We need to matter.
Why do you need to matter? Explain why you need to matter. Explain why you don't, like... Maybe it's fine to not matter.
Maybe it is fine to not matter. Some people might think that they don't matter, and well, there's a lot of suicide going on from that same thought. So I think a lot of them would probably disagree with you on saying you don't need to matter.
Well, why do you believe that people matter and that people should be treated with value, as having value?
Matter and should be treated with value as just something that comes along with being born as a human. Apparently, being unborn as a human. I mean,
it's not really an explanation. You're just stating that they're human and they have value.
What comes along with being a human is that we live in a society where people do matter.
Why? Why do they matter?
Society says that as a human, you have a duty to the society to be to grow up, get a job, be productive members of society, contribute, economy, all that kind of stuff.
So you believe that people have value because society says they have value?
People created a society, and society makes people specifically to benefit society.
Why? And so you believe it's a good thing for society to benefit?
Yeah.
So what it?
Benefit.
Why is it good?
We all benefit.
Why is it good for society to benefit?
Because society has a lot better economy. Society becomes richer. All the people in that society, they have more money.
Why is that good?
Because when you have more money, you have higher quality of life.
Why should I
live in poverty?
Why should you live in affluence?
Why should we live in affluence?
Yeah. Why shouldn't we live in poverty?
Okay, well, in poverty, you get struck with diseases, and you have a lot lower life expectancy, along with, like...
Why is that bad?
Crime rates are really high.
Why are those bad?
Because when crime rates are high, you end up dying. And poverty is...
Why is it bad to die?
Why is it bad to die? Because
right.
There's no afterlife, buddy. You're just done. You've been
Well, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with not existing? Why is that bad?
Oh, there's nothing inherently wrong with not existing, but once you're alive, you want to use it, don't you? It's human nature. We've evolved. See that? We've evolved as an instinct to reproduce and survive.
But what's the point of surviving? Why is it good to survive?
Maybe there's no point.
Okay, like, you believe in evolution?
Yeah.
But like, you understand how, like, meaningless your worldview is? There's no reason in even existing.
Maybe you're right.
And you believe that you evolved over time, but you can't know that, right? I mean, like, if your consciousness is the result of chemical reactions that evolved over time, how can you trust that your consciousness is giving you the correct perception of reality?
Because everyone else has the same reality.
Well,
we all know that things are real. We have the five senses.
But you're using your consciousness to determine that. Yeah, if it's deceiving you, then that's not true. Then those other people don't really exist.
So if there's a lie and everyone agrees that the lie is true, then it's not a lie, then it is true. If no one can say that I'm wrong, then I'm not wrong. No matter what it is.
So, what do you mean by I, though? When you say I'm...
If I say, what is Wednesday? If I said today was Tuesday and not Wednesday, and I convinced that everyone on the entire earth that it was in fact Tuesday, we would just change the calendar instead of trying to sort it all out. We'd just say, yeah, today's Tuesday. It makes sense. Everyone agrees. But
how do you know that those other people exist?
How do I know that people exist?
Yeah.
Because I can walk over to one and touch them on the shoulder and they're real.
But didn't I just tell you that if you have chemical reaction, if chemical reactions produce your consciousness, how do you know that your consciousness is giving you the correct perception that people are actually existing, and it's not a figment of your imagination?
It was lying to me, and everything was fake. Well, then it's real to me because it's my consciousness telling me what's real and what's not. Then
it's real to me, but when you say me, when you say I,
me,
you're assuming that there's one.
My fake conscience would be telling me, and its lie would be completely truthfully and real to me, my own fake consciousness.
But who's me?
Me is my brain.
Your brain? Well,
what
how do you know the
brain thinks is itself?
Well, how do you know your brain? How do you know your brain exists?
It does.
Because your consciousness could be consciousness could be lying to you about the fact that your brain exists, right?
Then what is consciousness?
That's a good question. It seems to be a bunch of experiences, right? So you have all these experiences. How do you know where they're coming from? How do you know that these different experiences aren't coming from different consciousnesses, from different entities in different parts of the universe? And when you say I, you can't really say I because maybe it could be we.
Hive mind? Sounds like some conspiracy stuff.
So, like, I mean, if you don't have revelation from God that he created, like, human beings with, like, soul and body to, like, be productive on the earth he created, it doesn't really make... You don't know if there's, like, a one consciousness attached to one body. You don't know that your consciousness is attached to your body in your atheistic worldview. You don't know that there aren't multiple consciousnesses creating this experience that you think is one consciousness.
Multiple consciousness. creating experience that I perceive as one conscience.
Right, like day after day, you have different days. You know, it's
So
the
every
spirit.
time I sleep up, I'm a different person. Every time I wake up, I'm a different person.
Maybe, you know, like you have this series of events that you think is your life. You have these memories of like the past day, and each day you wake up or you have this experience. You have experiences, but like, who's having that experience? Where is that experience coming from? You know, like it could be coming from like a different body, and you're assuming that it's all attached to these appendages that you see in the lower hemisphere of your vision. You see what I'm saying?
All I'm saying is that I see things as being a lot more simple. I think that things happen, and if they happen, they're real. That's pretty much it.
But you can't assume that because you don't know, right? You could always be wrong.
I could.
You've given up knowledge then. In that worldview, you don't have the preconditions for intelligibility.
Whatever we perceive as real is just real. That's it.
There's no
complicated about it.
So there's no such thing as being deceived?
No, you can be lied to.
There's no such thing as your conscious. You don't know that your consciousness is not deceiving you. You're assuming that you're putting blind faith in yourself, in your consciousness. Yes. Don't put blind faith in your consciousness. Put your faith in what God has revealed, that He created human beings on planet Earth to glorify Himself. You know, that's a worldview that makes sense of reality. You know, your worldview doesn't make sense of reality. Don't put your faith in that worldview. Put your faith in the biblical worldview that provides a foundation for knowledge.
I have a religious friend, right?
Yeah.
And we've talked about this kind of stuff like a couple of times, and like we don't like fight and argue. We just talk about it and like bounce ideas. And I think it's very interesting that neither one of us has gotten anywhere. I am no further today than I was on day one on making him agree with me, and he's no further making me a believer. So I think that says something about faith. You have a lot of faith, and that's admirable. And I have a lot of faith, just in a different thing.
Right. So, everybody operates on faith.
Yes.
Everything is based in faith.
In me, in this reality that I'm living.
But you don't in myself. You don't know that me exists, remember? It could be we. So every time you talk and say I or me, you're like contradicting yourself. Because you don't know. You say I don't know.
Do you believe in yourself? Do you believe that your consciousness is real?
Yes.
Or more valid than mine because